All right, Thrive Nation, on today's show, we have an opportunity to hear from an actual longtime client that we've had the pleasure of helping to grow his business, and I'm super honored to have him on today's show. Dr. Korgan, welcome on to the Thrivetime show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
For anybody out there that wants to verify that you're a real person, what's the name of your practice and what's your website there, sir?
Our practice is a New Image Med Spa, and our website is aniok.com.
Okay, and I'll put all this in the show notes so people can go verify you're real. How long have we worked with you, sir? How long have we had the opportunity to work together?
I believe we've worked together for 5 years now.
5 years. Now you have had a lot of growth because you implement all the systems that we teach you. Could you maybe talk about how much you've grown over these past 5 years?
Yes, we've grown almost 5 times, between 4 and 5 times what we were doing before. That's 4 to 500%.
Now, how long had you been in business before we had ran into each other?
I hate to admit it, we had been in business for almost 15 years.
Wow. So you'd kind of hit maybe you'd hit kind of like a plateau, I guess?
Yeah, it actually was hardly making any money, and I was ready to shut it down.
Now, let's kind of go through, because I want to give people some hope and encouragement who have a practice or a business that's stuck. That's what we do, is we help people get unstuck. So I'm just going to kind of go through a line item. Now, typically we work with a client. There's 28 pages of line items that we go through. Some people, though, for whatever reason, go at a certain speed. So some people want to implement at a slower speed. You've been very quick to adapt all these things. One thing I want to focus on is we had to optimize your website so that people on the planet could find you. Could you maybe talk about how many more website generated leads you're getting now than what you used to generate?
We used to get maybe a couple of month, and now we probably get a couple a day. And so it had just made a huge difference. It took a little time. There was about probably a 90 to 120 day delay before we started seeing things really pick up. But after we got over 100 Google reviews, it just really took off.
And for anybody out there that doesn't know this, to optimize a website, there's 4 key components. And by the way, if you go to thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire, you can download my newest book for free. It's A Millionaire's Guide, How to Become Sustainably Rich. And in that book, you can download at thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire. We have a book called Search Engine Domination, which you can download as well. These are free tools. And there's a lot of specific steps that have to be done to optimize a website, a lot of very detailed things. But there's 4 variables that are big ideas I want to cover. One, you have to have the most original HTML content. That's content. We do that. Second is we have to have the website optimized to be canonically or Google compliant. Third, we need to make sure that the website is mobile compliant. And then fourth, you have to have the most objective Google reviews. And you guys have been very diligent about asking patients for objective Google reviews. Was that easy for you to start gathering objective Google reviews, or was that a difficult process?
When we first started, it was very difficult. I guess we were afraid that people wouldn't give us a review, and then we didn't know how to do it. And once we got it figured out, then it started climbing steadily. We didn't have any, really skyrocketing growth. It's just been steady, increasing by a few per month. We did have some growth, about 70 to 100, that we just really went pretty fast. Now, usually just a few per month.
Now, Rochelle, you are a physician's assistant.
Yes, that's correct.
And how long did you have to go to school to do that?
About 3 years.
3 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're going to school, I think one of the things about going to school is it requires daily diligence, studying, memorizing, training, testing. And I think some people want to go ahead and get through school in like 3 weeks.
That would be nice.
How did you mentally stay focused for 3 years working towards that educational goal you had?
I had daily habits. I had a daily schedule and a routine, and I didn't deviate from it very often, but it was the consistency and repetition that got me towards that goal.
Dr. Korgan, how long did you have to go to school to become a doctor, sir?
4 years after college, and then I took a 3-year residency in family medicine. So 7 years.
7 years total.
Yes.
And how did you stay focused on diligently putting in the effort day after day, knowing that you wouldn't see a payoff or a result for 7 years?
I think just keeping your eye, you say you're keeping your eye on the prize, where you were really headed, and just realizing that every day was one step closer. And just doing it consistently, studying regularly, learning regularly every day.
Now, I tell people this, and I don't know if it's motivational or demotivational, but people come to my conferences and they go, I want to become successful. Clay, how did you build your first multi-million-dollar company when you weren't 20 years old yet? I said, well, you got to master the crap. And they go, the crap? The crap? What do you mean? I said, the core, repeatable, actionable processes. The core, repeatable, actionable process. You have to figure out what is the stuff that I need to do every day, and then start to do that thing. And so whether you're talking about fitness goals, business goals, accounting goals, family goals, growing a garden goals, you figure out the core, repeatable, actionable processes, and you do those. And so as we started working with you, step one is we optimize the website, then we optimize the branding, the print piece and the logo and the website and all that, the business cards, the print materials. But then after you do all that initial stuff, you have to start the process, the core, repeatable, actionable processes of optimizing your online reputation. Step 3, you got to optimize the online reputation, which is what gathering objective Google reviews is all about. Now, step number 4 is once you start getting new patients in, you have to find good people. This just in, people have to find good people. You can't just see all the patients yourself, or you can't just do every task yourself. Someone who's not you probably has to answer the phone. Someone who's not you probably has to clean the bathroom. Someone who's not you may have to do paperwork. Can you talk about implementing the group interview and maybe what sort of impact that hiring process has had on your business, sir?
Yeah, we went to group interviews, and I have a medical practice in addition to the new image, and we've started doing group interviews. And the first thing is it saves an incredible amount of time. The second thing is you get a chance to look at multiple people and compare them. It also keeps you from having a complete no-show when you have your group interviews. So we just found that it really helped a lot in that respect to help us with the people we needed. And I was very fortunate early on. I found somebody who was really, really good, who was able to help me significantly to get off the ground.
Now, I have a hairstylist. I have a men's grooming lounge I own. I'm also involved with a lot of medical practices. And I can tell you, whether you're talking about hairstylists, automotive repair people, or doctors, about 10% of the people you want to hire are out there. About 10% of your candidates are the right fit. About 10% are you go, if you have high standards, expectations, there's about 10% where you go, I could hire that person. Okay. And maybe 5%. But so you have the opportunity to either interview, 20 people for every one that you hire, or 10 for every one you hire, or you could have them all come to the interview at the same time, which is what I do. So every Wednesday night, I will have between 40 and 45 candidates that apply to work in the various companies I have. And I'll usually find 1 or 2 are a good fit. And the ones that are a good fit, I have them come and shadow. And that's the process. And so in part 3 of today's show, we're going to walk you through how the group interview process works. But again, this works if you're a dentist, if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're a photographer, if you're an automotive repair shop. And that's why we have over 2,000 client success stories over the years. And our average client is with us for over 6 years. I want to ask you about this. Every week we meet with you, and I believe there's a certain value of having coaching and accountability to do what I call eliminate the biggest limiting factors. You just where am I stuck? To figure out what is my biggest limiting factor and have somebody help you coach through that, and then have somebody hold you accountable, and then having a team of photographers, videographers, web developers, online ad people that can manage that for you. Can you talk about the value of those weekly meetings there, sir, and how much that's impacted you over these past 5 years?
Well, I think there's several things. The first one is I'm probably a procrastinator, and Andrew has done a great job to keep me focused and to encourage me and prod me along when I'm slow. And in fact, when there's things still on my agenda, we'll keep coming back to him. When are you going to get this done? He also helps me when I have problems. If I've had an employee issue or issues with vendors and so forth, he's given me some great advice on how to do that. And then also looking to expand our lines of business, to see what else we can provide for our community.
When you went to medical school, and Rochelle, I'll pick on you because you, and again, you guys might be the same age. I don't know, but again, I don't see age. But so Rochelle, you graduated from school, and did they cover a lot of marketing and online ads and hiring and branding at school?
Not at all.
What about you when you went to school there? Again, Dr. Korgan, I mean, you've obviously been out of school for at least a year or two. Did they cover this when you went to college?
That wasn't even invented when I went to medical school. In fact, any kind of advertising was taboo.
That's wild. That is wild. So again, folks, I'm walking you through the steps we've walked Dr. Korgan through. So 1 is we optimize the website. 2, we optimize the branding. 3, we optimize the online reputation. 4, we launch the group interview process. 5, we start measuring how many leads did we get? And then we have to start doing sales training where we're teaching people cross-selling, I call it up-serving, but it's basically letting the customers know about all the services that you guys provide. Rochelle, as a physician's assistant, you're known for helping people with, maybe chronic illness and these sorts of things. But are they often shocked of all the services that you provide when you tell them?
Yeah, we do a whole lot of holistic additions that is not normal to a natural or to traditional medical model of primary care provider.
And people just wouldn't know unless you brought it up.
Right. Correct.
And so it's kind of like, you as a provider have to get used to in the medical field or any field, actually, telling people these are all the services that we provide. Has the cross-selling or up-serving process helped you there, sir? Has that been a helpful skill set to learn?
Yeah, it's been extremely helpful. First of all, when my providers are working, to let them know, hey, we have a special on this or this, and to let them know they need. We do also do a lot of functional and integrated medicine. So I tell people we want you to look beautiful, but not just on the outside. We want you to be beautiful from the inside out.
Now, again, I mean, we've had the opportunity to work with you for 5 years, so I can tell people, if you go to ani-health.com, this is a guy that I've yet to hear anybody who's had a bad experience working with you. But for anybody out there who's thinking about attending one of our in-person workshops or scheduling a one-on-one business coaching consultation, we only take on 160 clients, and so I don't want to waste anybody's time, nor do I want anybody to waste my time. And what would be your thoughts, sir, to anybody out there contemplating or considering becoming a client?
I would tell them absolutely go for it. The sooner the better. But only if you're willing to follow instructions and to be coachable.
And then what would you say, for anybody out there who may work with Andrew, what would you describe the experience of what it's like working with Andrew as a coach and consultant?
Well, first of all, it was a little challenge because he's about a third my age. But he could know so much, but it has been very, very good. He's always upbeat, ready to go, ready to help me, and always available for me. And so it's just been an incredibly good experience.
Well, sir, I appreciate you carving out time for us and working with the Zoom technology here. I'm sorry if I sent you a dysfunctional link, but thank you for working with me there. And sir, I'll give you the final word. What would you say to anybody out there that feels kind of stuck with their business and they need a little pep up, maybe a little encouragement? What would you say, sir?
Well, first of all, if you need to have a coach to help you get off center, somebody else to look from the outside, and then you just need to get in there and follow the steps that you've outlined.
Brother, thank you for carving out time, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thank you.
Bye-bye. Well, I know that many of you may consider coming to one of our in-person workshops or becoming a one-on-one business coaching client. But before you decide to take action and to invest the time in doing a free 13-point assessment with me, or investing the time to come to one of our in-person workshops, I thought you should hear directly from one of our longtime clients who's had a lot of success, so he can share with you about his experience. So, without any further ado, Charles Ulrich, welcome onto the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks.
So, Charles, I got to ask you, how did you originally hear about the business coaching services that I provide, sir?
I was listening to podcasts on iHeartRadio on my 3.5-hour commute back and forth to my business in another state.
And so people can prove that your business is real. What's the name of your company, or what's the website people can go to learn more about it?
CannonPumps.com.
CannonPumps.com.
Cannon.
And what kind of services and products do you provide?
We provide a specialized slick line concrete pumping service along the Wasatch Front and Southeast Idaho, and have for a lot of years.
And so when you reached out to us, were you looking to grow the business, or what had you initially decided to reach out about attending a conference or the in-person or the one-on-one business coaching?
I had just hit a brick wall. I had lost key people. It was back down to just me after years, and I did not know what to do with my business, and was struggling to put the skill set together and the desire to grow it and do anything else with it. And so I was just looking for some answers.
And from the time that you reached out and scheduled that 13-point assessment to now, how much have you grown, sir?
At least 200%, probably.
Wow. So you're saying your company has doubled in size?
Yes, at least.
At least, you think maybe more than doubled, or?
Yes.
Now, when we do a weekly call with you, we like to cover the core, repeatable, actionable processes. The reason why Dr. Robert Zellner and I have a lot of success in business is that we're both rigorous and very disciplined about following proven systems. And so a big key component, I would say the key component of what we do, is we have a weekly call that's designed to provide you with practical operational help for your business. How do those weekly calls help you steer the ship?
They make me focus on my business, and they help me to remember the fundamentals. We're always being asked, what about this fundamental? What about this fundamental? How is this problem being resolved? How is this problem being resolved? And over time, you look forward to the meeting because it forces you to resolve any issues you have and work through them with proven solutions.
Yep, because it forces you to push through those problems and achieve success. I love it. Now, I got to ask you this: how do the weekly calls? How have they helped you with your sales process?
Well, a lot. We run our business for 25 years on our original Dream 100, and we didn't have much more than that, so we were very limited. And so one of the first things we did was, of course, Google and the reviews. And now our schedule is full of non-regular customers. I don't have a set of 6 customers dictating my whole business. I have a set of 150 customers dictating my business.
Now, again, if you were to take those calls out of your life and not have those weekly meetings, what do you think would happen to the level of success that you've achieved? Because, behind the scenes, we're optimizing the website, we're running your ads, we're making sure we're tracking all the numbers. What would happen if you took the calls out, you think?
Man, it would just be a slow implosion. Not really even that slow. It would just be, there's just so much ground covered in that you can't, it would be hard for me as a business owner and involved in the business, it would be hard for me to replace that, even with people, time, money. The resources would be just hard to grasp, let alone implement it and be able to do a working system to have somebody do any of it.
Now, Dr. Robert Zellner and I in our companies, what we like to do is we like to keep our meetings as short as possible, meaning we want to cover what we need to cover, and then we want to get back to business, probably in the way that you like to pump concrete as quickly as possible and then move on to something else. And I think a lot of people maybe don't quite understand that idea. Again, we block out an hour every week for that meeting, but it doesn't need to take an hour. Can you maybe explain why it's important to have that meeting, regardless of whether it takes an hour or 20 minutes or whatever the time length is?
It helps you keep us focused on the core fundamentals of what we're doing. If we don't have that, pretty soon we're going sideways and we're worried about things that don't matter as much. You've identified the things that we need to focus on, and that meeting, no matter how long it is, helps bring us back and forces us to look at those numbers, our revenue numbers, our reviews numbers, our leads numbers. Are we converting? All of that stuff, it forces us to look at the information that nobody wants to look at on their own.
Now, within our coaching program, we only work with 160 clients. And so, sometimes you might work, if you're a listener out there, you might work with me. I work with 15 clients. You might work with Carter. You might work with Devin. You might work with Andrew. You might have worked with Marshall. You might have worked with Eric. You might have worked with, there's so many wonderful people that we've had a chance to mentor over the years. And inevitably the question gets asked, well, how could your coach possibly help me if he's not a concrete expert? I want to ask you, how have the coaching calls helped you with your interviewing process and to know what to look for in a job applicant, even though your particular coach, Andrew, is not a concrete, quote unquote, expert?
Just because you're an expert in concrete doesn't mean you're a business owner. So Andrew brings a vast knowledge of all these other clients, and so can answer a lot of questions about what we need to do employee wise that I would really have no other answer to. And from that, even though he's not a concrete guy, he knows more about business than probably 98% of all of my clients who are concrete guys.
Now, how have the coaching calls helped you with the hiring process in terms of learning how to run and launch your Indeed ads? Because I see a lot of business owners that struggle to recruit people. How has the coaching calls and the coaching program helped you to effectively learn how to launch and run Indeed ads or the entire hiring process, really?
One of the biggest things about getting going is just the fear of starting. Once you start, if you have little questions or things, you have a resource to go to answer those unknowns. So instead of being afraid of them, you can just say, okay, I'm going to do this. And they just help you with the little details over top of it.
Now, how have the coaching calls helped you with managing your staff? I know, we manage internally, we manage hundreds of employees, but then our clients themselves, I mean, some clients I work with manage hundreds of employees, and some clients I work with manage 15 employees. Some manage dozens of employees. How have the weekly coaching calls helped you to learn how to effectively manage your team?
The coaching calls help ground you in the business principles, take a lot of the emotion out of it. Most situations with employees is cut and dry and wrong or right. As employers, we get emotionally involved and are afraid to do that. But when you hear somebody like Andrew as my coach tell me, no, this is what needs to happen, it's like, okay, this is what needs to happen, because he has seen it how many ever times with all his other clients.
Now, working with Andrew, we want to help you create systems. Our coaching program, we want to help you make systems so that everything is documented, and over time making checklists and processes for everything. So that way, as your business scales, hypothetically, it's more systemized over time. How has working with our team helped you to build systems?
Well, one of the things that we learned is remove yourself from the business and see how well it functions without you. So it seems like every time I break my leg, my business goes without me and it seems to function pretty well. So it helps everybody in the business be able to know what to do when nobody's looking over their shoulder.
Now, a part of the coaching process is it's that core repetitive, core repeatable, actionable processes. I call it the crap, but it's the messy middle. It's after the big new idea, the excitement about the new idea is gone. Somebody still has to follow up and do the core repeatable, actionable processes. How has that helped you on a weekly basis stay on track? Those core repeatable, actionable processes, after the excitement of the new ideas are gone.
Well, through the meetings helps me to realize that I am accountable to somebody. I answer to somebody. And so I go to my team and I hold them accountable so that I can make sure all of these things are done. So it just helps me to stay on top of making sure people are doing what they're doing instead of having to go in and take care of everything myself.
Okay, next question I have here for you. The coaching calls, a lot of our listeners, a lot of our longtime clients, if people go to thrivetimeshow.com, they can see thousands of customer success stories. A lot of my clients will tell me that they learned a lot about time management in the coaching program. I have one client right now. I've helped him to grow his business dramatically. He's on the verge of selling the company, and he says, "Hey, I'm going to keep hiring you as I look for my new business because I need someone to help me maximize my time and to stay efficient, even as I move into my new venture, even after he sells his company." Can you talk about time management and how the coaching calls have helped you with time management?
Well, this is one of my great struggles is the time management. And so I try and work on it more and more. And so by being able to have access to my coach, it helps me to formulate a plan and be able to keep my meetings and time management focused on what I need to do and not what other people want me to do.
How has the coaching calls helped you with your search engine optimization and generating more leads? I meet a lot of wonderful people that tell me, Clay, I would hire you guys for the coaching service if it didn't have the search engine optimization and the web development and the graphic design and the photography and all those services. But specifically, it's a flat rate. We charge $1,700 a month. It's all included. How much has that helped you in terms of growing your business with our in-house search engine optimization, web marketing, online ad management team?
100%. People find us now. When I met you, I didn't even have a website. And the first thing you said was, we have to do Google. I just sighed. It was so distant to me. And now I can't even imagine running this without what your team does for us in the back room.
Now, what's kind of interesting about our relationship, and it's been fun, is I co-founded Tip Top Canine Franchising. It's a dog training franchise. One of my longtime clients, Ryan and Rachel, started the company tiptopcanine.com, and I helped them to scale the business so that way it could franchise. So other people who are not Ryan and Rachel could go out there and buy a proven business model that works. And you guys elected to open up a Tip Top Canine right there in Utah. Your family, you and your whole family opened up a Tip Top Canine franchise together. How big of a role did you, having previously worked with our coaching program, how big of an impact, I guess, or how much of a decision, how much did that weigh into your decision to buy a Tip Top, knowing that we would be implementing the same systems that we've been implementing in your own company?
It was probably the biggest factor because it helped us to understand from the beginning, we're implementing all of the business principles in our concrete pumping. So when we were exposed to Tip Top, we already understand a lot of the policies and practices, which makes it easy to go in. So we could hit the ground running at full speed because everybody on our team already knew what the Dream 100 was, what the Google was, why reviews are important, why search engine optimization, all of that. And it was a huge part of of why we decided to do that, because we want to use that as a platform to even get more tip tops. And we feel that through your systems with that tip top would provide us that opportunity.
You know, my father, he had Lou Gehrig's disease, may he rest in peace. And but before he passed away, though, my wife and I, we organized kind of a going away party for him so that all the people in his life that mattered to him could all come and say nice things about him while he was still alive. And my dad told me that was like the highlight for him, was hearing that. And I know a guy like Andrew, you know, he's a very diligent guy. He stays focused every day on growing your business. Every single morning we meet at 6 a.m. in our coaches meeting to go over any burning fires or any issues or any areas how we can help if we ever have a business owner that's stuck, whether it be the Tip Top Canine franchises that we coach or whether it be our non-Tip Top Canine franchises or businesses that we work with. And I know he's committed to helping you grow your business. What would you say about the impact that Andrew himself has made as a result of him teaching you the systems and holding you guys accountable on a weekly basis?
Oh, Andrew's been great. You know, there's a big age disparity between Andrew and I, but he's never been afraid to, if there's something he finds out, if we don't know. But the other thing, he's been a great example to my kids, that all my kids work in my business by their choice, that you don't have to be an old stodgy guy like me to understand business principles. They're the same. And so his influence on me and my organization is generational, literally.
So just to be clear, I mean, knowing that the business systems that we had in place, working with you with your Cannon Pumps business, those principles, you knowing that those principles and systems would be used at Tip Top Canine, that was a big motivating factor for you.
Yes, huge. Probably the biggest factor.
And what would you, again, I talk to people all the time, and I'm not bashing other franchises, but I talk to people all the time that come to our conferences, and you've been to our conferences, and people will come to me and they go, man, I bought a franchise of this company or that company where there's no weekly coaching. You know, you come, they train you on how to do the skill or how to buy the business, and then they go back to their local hometown and they feel like they're just floundering, and they have like a monthly call where somebody checks in with you, but there's no weekly accountability. What do you think would happen to your Tip Top location if there wasn't Andrew or somebody like that pushing you guys on a weekly basis to grow?
It would go sideways quick. We'd be doing the wrong things at the wrong time for the wrong reasons. And because it would be more emotion based. And our phone call with Andrew, it keeps focused on the things that we need to accomplish to make it a franchise, so that I'm not a business owner that wakes up every day and has to go in and deal with it.
Final question I have here for you. For anybody out there that's thinking about attending one of our in-person workshops or scheduling a 13-point assessment, I don't want to waste anybody's time because I only take on 160 clients, and I don't want to waste anybody's time because our conferences only can accommodate 100 folks at each one, and we want to make it very interactive. In your mind, what kind of person would benefit from our one-on-one coaching or the in-person workshops?
Somebody that has a business that wants to get to the next level, not sure what to do. Just for ideas alone, your workshop has so many things that you can implement into every level of the business and at least get your brain working towards being a business owner instead of the high paid employee you are.
Well, brother, I really do appreciate you hopping on the show here. Hopefully, we've benefited you greatly, and it's been awesome to get to know you over the years. And I wish you continued success. Thank you for carving out time for us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Okay,
bye.
See ya.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today, I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Cockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country, where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building it into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk, kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal. And they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns, because our clubs were all closed for 3 months, and you have $350,000 of bills you've got to pay, and we have no accounts receivable. He helped us navigate that, and of course we were conservative enough that we could afford to take that on for a period of time. But it was anyways, great man. I'm very impressed with him. So Clay, thank you for everything you're doing, and I encourage you, if you haven't ever worked with Clay, work with Clay. He's going to help magnify you, and there's nobody I have ever met that has the ability to work as hard as he does. He probably sleeps 4, maybe 6 hours a day, and literally the rest of the time he's working, and he can outwork everybody in the room every single day, and he loves it. So anyways, this is Charles Kola with Kola Fitness. Thank you, Clay, and anybody out there that's wanting to work with Clay, it's a great opportunity to ever work with him. So you guys have a blessed one. This is Charles Kola. We'll see you guys. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Aaron Antis with Shaw Homes. I first heard about Clay through a mortgage lender here in town who had told me what a great job he had been doing for them, and I actually noticed he was driving a Lamborghini all of a sudden, so I was willing to listen. In my career, I've sold a little over $800 million in real estate. So honestly, I thought I kind of knew everything about marketing and homes. And then I met Clay, and my perception of what I knew and what I could do definitely changed. After doing $800 million in sales over a 15-year career, I really thought I knew what I was doing. I've been managing a large team of salespeople for the last 10 years here with Shaw Homes. And I mean, we've been a company that's been in business for 35 years. We've become one of the largest builders in the Tulsa area, and that was without Clay. So when I came to know Clay, I really thought, man, there's not much more I need to know, but I'm willing to listen. The interesting thing is our internet leads from our website has actually, in a 4-month period of time, has gone from somewhere around 10 to 15 leads in a month to 180 internet leads in a month. Just from the few things that he's shown us how to implement that I honestly probably never would have come up with on my own. So I got a lot of good things to say about the system that Clay put in place with us, and it's just been an incredible experience. I am very glad that we met and had the opportunity to work with Clay. So the interaction with the team and with Clay on a weekly basis is honestly very enlightening. One of the things that I love about Clay's perspective on things is that he doesn't come from my industry. He's not somebody who's in the home building industry. I've listened to all the experts in my field. Our company has paid for me to go to seminars, international builder shows, all kinds of places where I've had the opportunity to learn from the experts in my industry. But the thing that I found working with Clay is that he comes from such a broad spectrum of working with so many different types of businesses that he has a perspective that's difficult for me to gain because I get so entrenched in what I do, I'm not paying attention to what other leading industry experts are doing. And Clay really brings that perspective for me. It is very valuable time every week when I get that hour with him. From my perspective, the reason that any business owner who's thinking about hooking up with Thrive needs to definitely consider it is because the results that we've gotten in a very short period of time are honestly monumental. It has really exceeded my wildest expectation of what he might be able to do. I came in skeptical because I'm very pragmatic, and as I've gone through the process over just a few months, I've realized it's probably one of the best moves we've ever made. I think a lot of people probably feel like they don't need a business or marketing consultant because they maybe are a little bit prideful and like to think they know everything. I know that's how I felt coming in. I mean, we're a big company that's definitely one of the largest in town. And so we kind of felt like we knew what we were doing. And I think for a lot of people, they let their ego get in the way of listening to somebody that might have a better or different perspective than theirs. I would just really encourage you, if you're thinking about working with Clay, I mean, the thing is, it's month to month. Go give it a try and see what happens. I think in the 35-year history of Shaw Homes, this is probably the best thing that's happened to us. And I know if you give them a shot, I think you'll feel the same way. I know for me, the thing I would have missed out on if I didn't work with Clay is I would have missed out on literally an 1,800% increase in our internet leads. Going from 10 a month to 180 a month, that would have been a huge financial decision to just decide not to give it a shot. I would absolutely recommend Clay Clark to anybody who's thinking about working with somebody in marketing. I would skip over anybody else you were thinking about, and I would go straight to Clay and his team. I guarantee you're not going to regret it because we sure haven't.
My name is Danielle Sprick, and I am the founder of D Sprick Realty Group here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. After being a stay-at-home mom for 12 years and my 3 kids started school and they were in school full-time, I was at a crossroads and trying to decide what do I want to do? My degree and my background is in education, but after being a mom and staying home and all of that, I just didn't have a passion for it like I once did. My husband suggested real estate. He's a home builder, so real estate and home building go hand in hand, and we just rolled with it. I love people, I love working with people, I love the building relationships, but one thing that was really difficult for me was the business side of things. The processes and the advertising and marketing. I knew that I did not have what I needed to make that what it should be. So I reached out to Clay at that time, and he and his team have been extremely instrumental in helping us build our brand, help market our business, our agents, the homes that we represent. Everything that we do is a direct line from Clay and his team and all that they've done for us. We launched our brokerage, our real estate brokerage, 8 months ago. And in that time, we've gone from myself and one other agent to just this week, we signed on our 16th agent. We have been blessed with the fact that we right now have just over 10 million in pending transactions. 3 years ago, I never would have even imagined that I would be in this role that I'm in today, building a business, having 16 agents. But I have to give credit where credit's due. And Clay and his team and the business coaching that they've offered us has been huge. It's been instrumental in what we're doing. Don't ever limit your vision. When you dream big, big things happen.
I started a business because I couldn't work for anyone else. I do things my way. I do what I think is in the best interest of the patient. I don't answer to insurance companies. I don't answer to large corporate organizations. I answer to my patient, and that's it. My thought when I opened my clinic was I can do this all myself. I don't need additional outside help in many ways. I went to medical school. I can figure this out. But it was a very, very steep learning curve. Within the first 6 months of opening my clinic, I had a $63,000 embezzlement. I lost multiple employees. Clay helped us weather the storm of some of the things that are just a lot of people experience, especially in the medical world. He was instrumental in helping with the specific written business plan. He's been instrumental in hiring good quality employees, using the processes that he outlines for getting in good talent, which is extremely difficult. He helped me in securing the business loans. He helped me with web development and search engine optimization. We've been able to really keep a steady stream of clients coming in because they found us on the web. With everything that I encountered, everything that I experienced, I quickly learned it is worth every penny to have someone in your team that can walk you through and even avoid some of the pitfalls that are almost invariable in starting your own business. I'm Dr. Chad Edwards, and I own Revolution Health and Wellness Clinic.
Grab the duct tape and mentally prepare yourself for yet another mind-expanding knowledge bomb from America's #1 business coach, Clay Clark.
That's it. Bombs away.
Recently, I've had more and more members of the Thrive Nation asking me, Clay, what do you actually say at the group interview? How does the group interview look? Do you really interview all of the candidates at the same time? Seriously? Every Wednesday at 6 p.m., you interview everybody at the same time. How do you do it? When do you do it? Where do you do it? Why do you do it? How do you do it? What does it sound like? Well, I do it Wednesday nights at 6. Why do I do it? Because it's efficient. Interviewing everybody at the same time is efficient. Where do I do it? At our office at 1100 Riverwalk Terrace in Jinx, Oklahoma. Who attends? A lot of people. We have like 50 people confirmed say they're going to be at the interview. And usually 10 to 15 show up. And last night we had a great group of people who attended the workshop, and we found some really, really great people. And so now without any further ado, this is what our group interview sounds like. Okay, so I'm Clay Clark, and this is my office. And we're hiring for a myriad of different positions. And I'll open it up for you guys to ask questions. So Justice, is that right? I'll start with you, so because you're in the back. So Justice, what questions do you have?
Well, you said there's myriad positions available. I was wondering which specific ones, and if there's any more that you can provide me with.
Sure. What position did you remember reading about online?
Marketing assistant.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about that one. So marketing assistant, and feel free to take that notes if you want. Everybody, if you're looking for a product or service, you typically search on
branding.
Probably branding. How would you find if you want to go, like if you're in Florida tonight, you're going to go to a movie, or you're going to go, I don't know. What do you typically do to find
Some
things?
people go to third-party vendors.
What do you do?
To search what you want
That's right. See, so 94% of people according to Forbes right now use Google for everything. But I think in any room, like 1% of 1% know how Google works. So I grew up crazy poor, and I was in a company called DJConnection.com. It still exists. But I grew up really poor. I was 16. My dad was delivering pizzas. I'm 38, and my dad was 38. He was delivering pizzas. He had a degree from ORU, top of his class, Tom Clark. And my dad just didn't know how, he had a good business degree, but they don't teach business. And so my dad, we just grew up really poor. And so my whole thing was like I had to find a way to not be poor. So I started a DJ company out of my dorm room. Do you know why I started a DJ company out of my dorm room?
Because it was fun and you enjoyed it.
And
something that you were really good at, and it was something that was needed, probably demand.
what do you think, Justice?
I think it's something that you love, something that you can do, but the unique ability to want to exploit something you're good at.
And I'd say I wish that it was that deep. It was like I'm crazy poor, and the barrier of entry is pretty low, and most DJs are terrible. So I'm like, even if I'm bad, I'm better than them. So I had a service called DJ Connection. This is my pitch. And your name is Barbara. So I'd say, Barbara, I'm going to DJ for your wedding, your birthday, whatever. And it's $1 if you hire me. That's what it costs. And then if you're happy, you can pay me based on your happiness. So if a 10, perfect 10, I'd love to get paid $600 because everybody else charges that. But if I'm terrible, it's $1. And everyone charges 4 hours. I do unlimited time. And everyone's like, are you kidding me? And I go, nope. And I help you plan your wedding first. So pretty much every bride at every wedding show said yes every single time. And I just grew it. And so when I sold it, we were doing 4,000 weddings a year. So it was like big, 80 weddings a weekend. And then my wife pointed out to me in 2006 or 5, I was Entrepreneur of the Year for the state of Oklahoma from the Small Business Administration. She's like, what you do works for other things. You shouldn't be a DJ. And I'm like, why? She said, because you're a grown man. Okay, fine. So we have 5 kids, and I built that business, and then I started teaching people how to grow their businesses, but not in like and if you're in a multi-level, I'm not attacking you. I'm saying not in a multi-level kind of way, not in a 100% commission kind of way, not in like a get-rich real estate kind of way, but like, hey, you're a chiropractor, and let's sell some stuff. Or, hey, you're a home builder. So now my client, we worked with Maurice Kanbar, who is the founder of Sky Vodka. So when he bought a third of downtown Tulsa, if you look at my name, Clay Clark, Tulsa World, you'll see the articles. We helped lease. Downtown used to be dead. We helped lease we helped basically bring tenants downtown. Here you go. We did the deals we did was Elote was the first downtown restaurant, Mayo Hotel. We worked with them with the bar and all that. Anyway, that's what we did. And so then people kept reaching out. And so now we work with 160 clients. That's the number, 160. 160 clients. Most of them are not in Tulsa. And Shaw Homes is the largest home builder in Oklahoma. That's one of our clients. Total Ending Concepts, that's one of our clients. Barbie Cookies was one of our clients. Papagallo's Pizzeria is a client. OxyFresh is a client. UPS has been a client. Maytag has been a client. So, Ben, come on up here, Ben. Woo! This is Ben. Yeah, let's hear for Ben. Yeah, Ben. Yeah. All right. Now, Ben, where were you working at? So how long have you been here?
I've been here 8 months. Before that, I was at Lowe's for 8 months. And before that, I was working as a handyman for about 10 months.
Oh, you shouldn't have told me that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Great, that's great.
Oh, yeah. Can you do a lot? Is he handy?
I've done ceiling fans. I can do drywalls and stuff. I hate tiling. I hate tiling.
No tile. No. I just think we found. My wife's been like praying for a handyman. It's like, dear Jesus, can I have a handyman? But anyway, so and then Ben, where did you start? Like, what was your role at first?
I was on the search engine optimization team. So I write the search engine content. So the content that is going to be going on to the web page for all the clients.
Had you ever done this before?
I thought I was illiterate. I think I got C's in English, like high school and college. So I never thought I would ever be writing for my professional career.
And then what do you do now?
I am the SEO. I think we got promoted to czar, actually.
Czar, that's the title.
SEO czar.
Very official.
So I manage a team of 8 now, and they're writing content all day long. So it's my job to make sure that the quality of the content's going to be good, make sure that there's not going to be any duplicates, because Google loathes duplicate content with a passion. So I loathe it with a passion.
How much could you get paid per hour right now at your current rate?
Current rate, I can do about 25 to 27 an hour.
Questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so you said you're writing. Are you writing like a literary artist, or are you talking about programming?
So not programming, I don't know that yet.
Okay, 'cause
but
I'm like HTML.
yeah, so we use so it's called Dragon Diction. So we just like speak it, and instead of typing it, because that would take forever. Plus I can't spell. So but then I just talk. I just kind of write that content as in like 2 500-word articles.
And let me tell you how this system was created so you see it. I was building DJ Connection. I hired Bruce Clay, which, by the way, $8,000 a month is a lot of money. Contract, 12 months. I'm not bitter about it, but it's expensive. I still pay him now, but it's like a lot of money. So you're like, I'm a DJ. Let me tell you about being a DJ. You make $167 of profit a show. Could you charge $600? So you're not making like, you know what I mean? You're getting like after I pay the DJs and the equipment breaks and hiring and sales and marketing, it's about $150. Well, it's cool. We're doing 80 a weekend, but it's still a lot of money. You know what I mean? So I'm going, there's got to be a better way. So I try to make it really affordable. And so I used to type the articles. And I wrote the best crap ever, man. It was like, you're going to love working with our DJs because I'm using big words like plethora, cornucopia. It's just a fabulous. I was like working it. I thought that's what mattered I thought having really good words was what it was at. I thought and my wife was like, have you ever asked women if they've ever read these things? And I'm like, because most people go to the website and call, they don't like read your 40-page manifesto about DJing. And so then I'm like, wait a minute. So that's when I came with the Dragon Diction thing, and then that's kind of anyway. So that's how that worked. But any of your questions for Ben? Yes.
The training process to be able to get to where you were to start and then to where you are now. Like, how do you go about it? It's just this book?
My quick interruption is 2 weeks, hands-on. Okay. You're getting paid the whole time, but 2 weeks is about how long it took you to. Am I right?
2 weeks, yeah.
And then to start off after 2 weeks, we join under your team.
You're still getting paid you're on the team right away.
Yeah, we I think there's someone their third day on, and so they're slowly picking up little by little. And
we had a young lady today who is great, and I think her head was going to explode because it's like her second day or third day. Nice lady, but it's like you've never done it before, and it's like riding a bike. And unless you're a weird person, you don't mock babies that are learning to walk. Oh, look at the baby! Look at the stupid baby! Lazy baby. You kind of coach up, mentor up. You teach. Right. Yeah. So that's the vibe there. So you learn that. And then one day Ben was like, hey, check it out. My wife is smart. And I go, your wife is smart. What is this?
Smarter than me.
And then, I'm like, well, let's meet said person. So I'm going to bring up your wife. Is that cool? Cool. So you gotta go in now. Let's turn for Ben. All right. Yeah. This is Amelia, and she happens to be married to that guy. And can you explain your path? How long you've been here and what you do now?
I've been here for about 6.5 months. I started in Elephant in the Room call center, and then I moved from there to sales. And then from sales, I'm now in coaching. So I've got my first 3 clients this past week. So I'm doing coaching now.
Any questions for Amelia? She's been here a while, but not super long. No?
6.5-ish.
6.5 months.
Oh, good for you. That's a lot to take over in about 6.5 months.
Yeah, no, she's going through very fast. She's plowing through it, probably the fastest rate of anybody we've had so far. So, but that's only because Ben's her life coach and just like telling her what to do.
Pathways. You're teaching them, starting them, setting the website, and what do you mean by pathways?
Yeah, so Clay writes all the pathways. That's like their business plan.
You, sir, what questions do you have? And what is your name? Jacques? How do you spell it? Z-H-A-J? Ja. Is that like a family name? Is this common?
Not very common in my culture, but...
What does it mean?
It means dragon.
That's cool.
Can you give them a copy of Dragon Energy? My new book is called Dragon Energy. Oh, yeah. Any questions for Amelia about that? Because she's here. That's why I have her here. Because she can tell you, and you can ask her anything. Yeah.
Do you personally make a lot of cold sales?
I did when I was... Yeah. So I did when I it's kind of split now. But yeah, so when I was doing sales, that's what I did. I did cold calls.
Can you explain who you were calling for, though?
Yeah, so it's for a company called Digi Security Systems. They're a client of ours, so they actually contract out their cold calling to us. So I would call their leads, their Dream 100.
So we don't cold call on behalf of my business. We call on behalf of our clients. Because a lot of our clients are afraid of the phone at first. We actually explain to them, nobody woke up today with a desire to pay you. And they're like, huh? Like, nobody cares about your product. You got to go call them. And if it's a retail store, you got to get in front of them. You know, every business has its own path. But for Digi, they did the security systems for the Gathering Place, OSU, OU, BOK, and they get all their accounts by cold calling. So she's calling on their behalf, if that makes sense.
That's what the call center is for.
The other call center would be for Elephant in the Room, so that's men's grooming lounge. I don't know if you've heard of it. Yeah, so they're, no matter which location you're going to, the calls all come into us, and then we schedule.
And if you move to Denver, the company I've worked with for a long time up there, Denver, my partner he and I have Elephant in the Room together. The other business, though, is called OxyFresh, and there's 406 locations, carpet cleaning, and there's a major call center that books like 8,000 carpets a day. A lot of carpets.
Yeah.
So that's yeah. But inbound calls for Elephant in the Room, basically. Any other questions? You feeling good? Okay. And it's Ja. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, sure. And what is your culture, by the way? You said your culture. What's your culture? Monk? Hmong. And where are you? Were you born here in this country?
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to live in Arkansas, but I just recently moved to Tulsa.
Are your parents first generation immigrants?
I'm not too sure.
Okay.
Maybe my grandparents.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. Excited. John. Okay. So, Ja. Got Ja.
You had a question?
Yeah. I was just curious if I did get the job, how long would I have to get everything in order to move up here? Because I don't live in Oklahoma.
And what's your name?
Roy.
Roy. And you drove here from where, Roy?
Just south of Houston.
Really? For this interview?
Yes, sir.
You did.
How did you hear about us?
Online. I saw something that said it was about graphic design, and I looked into what the company was and did a little research, and it looked really great. So.
We have about 500,000 people listen to our podcast. So we have had, I don't think the workshops you were at, but Sean, were you at the one we had people from Guam here?
Yeah, 2 of them.
So we have people from Guam and Canada and Australia. But no, I'm always amazed though, because you never know with the podcast where it's going to reach. You know, we've hit number 1 on iTunes 6 times, so we get different people that find it. But that's so you. How far did you drive?
9 hours.
That's impressive. That's impressive. What are you doing now?
Right now, it's just a little part-time job. What I've been using to pay for college.
Where do you go to college?
The local junior college.
I'm super impressed. It's wild. Okay, and you're a graphic design guy?
I'm a lot of stuff. The program at the school was a video game and computer simulation type of program. So I can program, I can write, I can design stuff.
To answer your question, what we do is we have a thing called a shadow process. And is it Carol? Is that right? Barbara. Why would I say Carol? I'm not. Boo. Boo. Okay, so Barbara. So what we do is we'd have you guys shadow. So if it was like we go through all the resumes, and I want to meet you because I go through them and I kind of want to like put a face with the resume and figure all that. And then we'll call you guys tomorrow by 9 if it's something I want to move forward. I just like to get your aura. And then we have a lot of people, and I'm the one who always meets everybody. But then we'd have a shadow where we're going to shadow like for an hour or 2. I tell people just plan on like from 9 to 12, but you don't have to be the whole time necessarily. And I'm just wanting you to meet everybody who would work here to see if you'd get along and that kind of thing. You know, and then Barbara, what questions do you have? How did you hear about this place?
I heard about it from Annie.
Oh, my mother-in-law. Cool. Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Well, what questions do you have?
I'm just interested to hear the jobs, and then she told me there might be some.
Yeah. Well, I will. Basically, the search engine optimization role, the marketing assistant, that role is open tonight. It's very dynamic, though, because there's always growing, so there's a lot of people coming in. It's like Google, they're always hiring. But then you have the sales thing. I don't think we have a position open for that tonight, right?
For Elephant?
Yeah.
No.
But we do sometimes.
Yeah, it changes.
Okay. But we do have, I think, 3 spots we're looking for currently tonight. So, but any other questions you have about what we do up here?
Do you have, Annie had described that maybe something with a law firm?
Yes, I do. My attorney represents T.D. Jakes and Joel Osteen and Craig Rochelle, and somehow he got stuck with me. And we handle all the marketing for them too. And they are looking for somebody who's really, really sharp to fill a long-term position. It's benefits. But they want people who've been on the planet a longer period of time. Because if you were born yesterday, one might think that, oh, this person has the best of intentions. And if you're working for a law firm, there's always kind of squirreliness. So they want people that are mature and kind of dress sharp. That's what they're looking for. People who are detailed and yes. And so that position just came open yesterday, so I know about that. I can be able to talk to you more about that. Any questions you have?
What skills do you need to be an ideal candidate?
Skills? Just be crazy coachable, like off the charts coachable. And then try to go like years without yawning. Because it's like it goes fast in here. And so we're meeting here after everyone's gone home. But Monday through Thursday, from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m., it's like a sprint. And it's just, if you like energy, like to go, you'd like it. But if you're like, I don't like this, you know?
Way too many times.
Yeah. Now, what is your name?
My name is Terry.
Terry. And what questions do you have, Miss Terry?
Well, first of all, I came here to make sure it wasn't just a sales position. Because, like, I have 2 degrees in AAS and graphic communications and MBA in graphic design.
Okay.
And the reason why I feel like it's sufficient to bring it up is because I've been looking for something like in the advertising world.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Now, I live in Fort Gibson because me and my husband, we own a ranch.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I do all the ranching and stuff like that with him, and plus I do industrial design and stuff like that. But I've had a lot of ad agencies looking at me, but I didn't want to relocate.
Got it.
You see what I'm saying? Because
You don't want to move.
No.
You want to stay where you have the farm, the ranch, the husband, the whole thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
And like he's a literary artist. We were all into art. My daughter's an artist. She's in the Air Force on top of it. She also did like her squadrons, like art and stuff like that, you know. But I saw this on Indeed.
Okay.
And I was like, this is probably an opportunity for me, but wasn't sure because all the positions that I've applied for a graphic design position, you know, I mean, I want to grow, first of all.
Well, there's different kinds of, and I'll just tell you this, and I'm not trying to be negative. I just make sure that my buddy owns a firm called Hampton that might suit what you want to do because it's very artistic, like very creative, and they do really cool stuff. And I don't view him as a competitor, but they're like he wears like a flower in his shirt.
That's cool.
You know, and he's very like, I don't know, it's fabulous. But they have huge accounts. And that's what he does. And I'm all about like helping people get unpoor real fast. Like I'm all about like, that's cool. We could spend 7 weeks talking about the logo, but instead I'm going to just get you to the top of Google and make a bunch of money right now. And by the way, when you shoot your YouTube video today and make a performa and fire that guy and do this, and then they're like, I'm more of like, you ever seen that show, The Prophet?
Yes.
I'm like, kind of like that. It's like, you know, no soup for you. It's like a high energy, fast paced. It's like, people are like, are you like what is your deal? I'm like a bowling ball. Like, just go, you know, just go. And then, but the graphic design, typically more like the high design, I would say Hampton and Cubic are probably the best in town for that. I'm probably more like low design, but fast design, and then make money for clients, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I count winning as like the client making more money than they're paying me as soon as possible. That's how I do it. Skills, but just super coachable. Being able to, Ben can talk to you more about that, but Ben, you were at Lowe's.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, were you typing like a boss at Lowe's?
I was not. I was moving lumber, actually. So, driving the forklift.
And I have no discernible skills. I mean, I took algebra 3 times, ACT 3 times. My wife rejected me multiple times when I proposed. Crazy. It's crazy how she said yes. Blindness. She's got blindness. She can't see. But all I'm saying is like that's you don't need a whole lot of skills. You need to have that grind, if that makes sense. And your name is Alex. Alex, where are you from, dude? Tulsa. Okay, cool. What have you been doing previous to now?
I was going to TCC. But
Yep.
I feel like that really wasn't for me, so I stopped.
Okay. Yeah. So you tried it out and you're kind of like, Okay. Okay. Any questions you have, sir? And what's your name again?
John.
John. Okay. John, any other questions you have, John?
So there's a graphic design
Yep.
section open.
True.
Marketing.
Yep. graphic design and the marketing assistant would be SEO, search engine, and those would be the 2 spots tonight.
Oh, okay, the 3. Okay, so those are 2 of them.
You have 2 that are open for search engine tonight. Shaw Homes is looking to hire somebody. Steve Currington's looking to hire somebody. I believe Nathan's hiring somebody for the carpet side. Do you need 1 technician tonight?
1 or 2.
1 or 2? Yeah. And what does that pay approximately?
Depending on the person, they can make 35, 40, 50,000.
Yeah. So I'm kind of a matchmaker. I try to find the right fit for the right people. So there's a couple of different spots there. And ma'am, your name? Lily. Okay, Lily. And Lily, what questions do you have? You're good? Okay, I respect that. And your name again, sir? Austin. What questions do you have?
I was just wanting to know more about the graphic design position.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring up Daisy here real quick. And Amelia, I'm going to let you get back to being awesome over there. Yeah, let's hear it for Daisy. Yeah, Daisy. Woo! How long have you been here?
2 years.
Okay, what were you doing before you were here?
So before I was here, I was in education, which is surprisingly soul-sucking. I love the kids.
Oh.
The politics and the bureaucracy of it all. I just got, I became kind of cynical with it. Before that, I managed a donut shop, 2 locations. I've done banking. I've done a myriad of different things, but none of them as great as here.
And you are not white?
Last time I checked.
Okay. And you're Buddhist?
Yes.
How does that impact our daily interaction?
It doesn't.
You know that I'm a Christian. I'm always trying to convert you.
Yeah.
And you know that Ben's a Mormon, and he's always trying to convert me. He never mentions it, but I know what he's doing. I know what he's doing. No, he is. This is the thing about Ben. Let me tell you about Ben. He's sneaky. He's like, I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to live it. And then if you want it, ask me about it. See, that's what he does. He just sets this. He doesn't talk about it.
He sets a tone.
I mean it. Very sneaky. His wife's the same sneaky. They're both like, this guy the other day, we had barbecue. We're serving barbecue for a person who's celebrating somebody. And, Ben, do you want barbecue? Tempting him.
Right.
He's like, no, I'll wait for Amelia. Doesn't know where she is. Says it's sneaky, though. And multiple people are like, this dude's not going to have barbecue while he's waiting for you. He has no idea where she is in the building. He's a good guy. So all I'm saying is, but we have different faiths in here. It doesn't have to be like you're pro, but capitalism is probably the religion that we all have, what question do you have for Daisy? Because she started off on the phones, and now she manages the call center. And she's a great lady and has a great kid named Atticus who says that I'm old.
Sorry.
Sorry.
He's like, you're old. Yes.
So the paid training is just 2 weeks for whatever that you're starting.
You're going to get paid to do. You're going to be doing it day one.
That's awesome.
Past the first initial 2 weeks training, what do you have? Is there the ability to then get further training on as you go?
Yeah. What you do is you're going to work in a 90-day tour of duties, I would call it. I'm just asking you mentally to commit to work here for 90 days. Because I shouldn't do it, and my wife's kind of helping me through this, but I don't know, you know my mother-in-law, but she really cares about facials. And I'm like, can we let it go? No. Because she wants to deliver a great experience. She's into that, and I can't explain to you why, but she is. That's just her love language. She's into it. And I think clients of hers experience that, And for me, I kind of view every employee as kind of like the personification of my dad, where I'm like, I don't know why my dad was so poor at the age of 38. I don't understand that, but I think it's because he wasn't taught certain skills. Because he had a degree, was at the top of his class. He literally was at the very top of his class at ORU. And I'm like, I have to believe that if somebody would have pointed out to him, Tom, don't do this and do this, I believe he would have done this. He always worked hard. But because he worked at Quick Trip in the night shift, and he worked at Domino's, I stuttered as a kid, and I got made fun of. I couldn't talk till I was 13 years old. And I got made fun of all the freaking time, and my parents couldn't afford a speech pathologist. And I have to believe they would have hired one if they could have. And so I just kind of I want to teach you the skills needed to pay the bill. I'm just all about do this, boom. And then if you want to be here for 5 years or 6 years and become a partner in one of the businesses, like a law firm, great. If you want to be on the podcast with me every day and that's your goal, great. If you want to become a real estate agent, great. If you want to become a super mom, great. I don't care. Super dad, great. I just am saying I want to help you get where you want to go. And I view it as a tour of duty, not like a wage cage. So upward mobility is my game. you know? So every 90 days, we kind of reevaluate. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah. So I started off in the call center as a call center rep, and I came in through the group interview, and I was like, I literally don't care what I have to do. Like, I need to be here. So what do you have?
Right.
And at the time, Vanessa was like, well, we need somebody in our call center. And I was like, okay. So, you know, I really want to work for Thrive, but if it means being here in this environment, I will do whatever I need to do. And so I started off in the call center, and within the first 90 days, they're like, we want to promote you to call center manager. I was like, okay, cool. And I've been doing that ever since.
And she was the worst manager of all time, in my opinion, and the best salesperson at the same time. Because when she's good at her job, but then managing people, that's like where you're going like, hey, quit vaping.
So constructive criticism is awesome.
Yeah, and she like absorbed it though, you know what I mean? And so I'd be like, hey, don't argue with her, just tell her what to do. Because we had one coworker who used to like go out there and do the hula hoop, remember her?
I do.
In the middle of the day, she would just go out there and she'd be like, well, just hula hooping. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? And then she would like get into a debate with them as opposed, and then now she's great at it though. And then she messed up and said she wanted to become a speaker lady.
Yeah.
And so now she speaks at the conferences, and we have a conference in here every 2 months for our clients. About 120 people are here every time. But any other questions for Daisy about being here? No?
When you first got here, when I first came in, I was like, oh, this is so great.
Yeah.
You know, because the way it's set up
Mm.
and everything like that. I'm like, that's for the workstations. This area right here was like a photo shoot. You know, like the backdrop of a photo shoot and everything like that.
Yeah.
And then I was going over there and I was like, oh, this is where some of the graphic design comes in. You know. And
Every
I was
picture
like,
on every wall has been put there specifically, and then all the writing is my handwriting. So I'm always, my dad died, there he is, rip Tom Clark, Tom Bomb, it's Tom Bomb. So I put that there because I felt like I needed to have it, I see it all the time when I'm speaking. So I'm at conferences, I'm always thinking of my dad. You know, so and then like victory, I think that's a big word, it's important. But anyway, so it's just a different place, it's a fun place. But I would like for you to meet the teammates before you kind of decide A or B. What I want to do is I had questions for Justice and Ja and for Barbara. I had some questions for you guys based upon your resume. And I would like for Amelia to give a tour of you so you can see everything. Okay? So if you guys here, you three, can go with Amelia, that'd be great. And then if you three can go with Daisy and Ben on a tour, let's give them a tour. Is that cool? And then I have some questions for you guys. And then do you have your printed resumes tonight? Okay, because I have a few questions. And then those of you who are interested in the graphic design, have you all emailed in your portfolios?
yes.
Okay, those have all been emailed?
Yeah.
Okay, so before you go today, I would like... Yeah, so before anybody, because graphic design comes down to me, I have to like obsess and look at your portfolios because we've got so many talented people applying, and I like to personally look at that. So before you leave, if you have access to a mobile device or something, if you could please, I want you to verify they do it, send it to founder@thrive15.com. And that is how we do it. And now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom!
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah, so here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months, or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. They taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from